Sorry it's been a minute. I just got back from Japan. It's been 2 weeks in the countryside of Japan, and it's been a week in Tokyo. 2 weeks total. Since selling my company, I've actually traveled to 4 different countries. Been blessed to be able to travel. I went in the fall during Thanksgiving time frame by myself to Paris, France, Bordeaux, spent some time in France. I spent some time in Copenhagen, Denmark, which I will be returning in July. I'm very excited. And I ended the trip in Rome, Italy. Got a little taste of Italy. And now I'm excited to go back and explore the lesser known regions of Italy. And this last couple weeks, I just went to Japan to celebrate my brother's 26th birthday. So I took him on a trip. We haven't traveled together since we were in college. We were young and dumb. And I realized that travel is a beautiful opportunity to better learn about yourself and to learn more about who you really are and who you want to be in this world. I heard a quote saying that people travel to either escape from something or they're searching for something. And I found that for me, it was the latter, where I'm searching more about who I am. And it's very interesting because, and I realize, it's actually easier for me to be present in a moment, and in that moment of awareness to learn more about myself when I'm actually away from my routine. When I'm traveling, I'm typically in a new space, a new environment, and it puts me out of my comfort zone. I'm trying something new, I'm trying a new place. And doing this, sometimes I have this realization that I might not ever be here again. So that I'm super present to enjoy every moment. And then during that time, I find that I'm more in tune with myself. I had a couple moments where I was journaling, typically in the morning, and I've realized that these are very special moments. The journaling that I had, I was very clear in my thoughts. I was clear in my awareness. I was clear in what I wanted out of that day. I was clear in what I wanted out of the trip. And I even learned some things that when I came back that I want to implement or do differently. I want to encourage, if you don't have the opportunity to travel this summer, because it is the summer, and for the people in my life that are watching this, a lot of you guys are on summer break, and you might not have the opportunity to travel. You might not be able to go somewhere new or somewhere different. But one of the things that I realized when I got back was, why don't I treat every Saturday or treat my city as if I am a tourist? Why don't I do things and live life to the fullest when I'm in my current hometown? You could try a different coffee shop. You can go somewhere new. You can do something different. What would you do if you were a tourist in your own city? That's the question I would ask you, and the encouragement I'd ask you, because you might actually live your life a little differently. You might spend your weekend a little differently. If you're thinking about, if I'm visiting this city, what would I do differently? For me, I found that when I'm in a new city, I really like to listen to live music. I like to find bars or restaurants or places after dinner that I can listen to live music. And I realizing, why don't I do that here in where I live in my hometown? There's places that have live music at nighttime. Maybe I make excuses. I have routines and I'd be up early, but it's like when you're on vacation. Again, the ideal day for me is waking up early and going to bed late. You only have so many hours on this earth. You only have so many days, and we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So why do I worry so much about the optimal sleep schedule when, if there's an opportunity to do something new or try something or have an experience, why not enjoy that experience? Who cares if I get 2 hours less of sleep when I can easily get a nap the next day, or we can catch up sleep later? We sleep most of our lives. So it's an interesting thought. It's like I want to wake up early, go to bed early when I'm here, but then when I'm traveling, or sometimes I want to sleep in on a Saturday, whereas I'm traveling, I want to wake up early on a Saturday, I want to get out, and I want to try something new. Whereas on a Saturday, like I just said, Saturday on vacation, I'm up early and I'm at it, I'm trying something new. So I had that thought, and I told somebody that recently. I was like, why don't we live our lives, our free time at least, because we have things we have to do typically during, to support our lives. Why don't we act like a tourist this weekend? And the other takeaway I had was from traveling, besides a couple personal things for my own life, one of the interesting takeaways that I had was I realized that, well, I came to the conclusion that I don't think the world's driven by money. I don't think it's driven by greed. I think it's actually driven by the desire to eat. Food, I would say, actually drives us more than money does. And I thought about that because when I'm, away from your routine, you're in some new environment, you don't realize, or maybe you do realize like me, that how much time is spent on thinking about food, planning food, the actual enjoyment of food, afterwards, the post-meal walk, thinking about dessert or getting a treat afterwards, and then if it's, then planning the next meal, and then going to bed and thinking about what am I going to eat tomorrow morning. It's like this, a lot of our day is actually around food. When we're in this environment where we're away from our routine and we're away from work and we don't have to think about the things we typically think about, we're actually thinking a lot about food. And then I realized, a lot of us make money so that we can go to Italy to eat that fresh pasta, so we can go to Japan and have fresh sushi. Like, a lot of my money goes towards food. I just went to Whole Foods and spent $80 on my dinner tonight. And it could have been cheaper for me going out and getting a bowl of ramen, but I wanted to cook myself a good bowl of ramen in my house with organic ingredients, and I spent about $88. And some of that stuff I'll be able to use more than once. And but it's like I work so that I could eat really well. And part of that food is not just for me to eat, it's to enjoy it with other people. It's the community element, it's the family dinners, the friend meals, it's the coffee mentoring session that I have with somebody. So there's more than just the element of eating, it's the community element around it. But I thought it was interesting. It's like, is it really money that runs the world, or is it the desire to eat? And is it food that actually runs us? And then my last little journal entry was when I wrote this thought was, are we actually controlled mainly by our gut and less of our brain? We know that our gut is connected to the brain, the gut microbiome and how it's connected to the brain, and we know that our emotions are influenced by our gut, and depression and serotonin production and dopamine, a lot of that's related to our gut. But it's an interesting thought. It does, does our gut really control us more than we think it does? And is it the main driver in our life? Not that it's a bad thing, I'm just an interesting thought that I had from traveling. But short talk, I wanted to just my encouragement today was to spend a weekend like you were a tourist. What would you do differently if you were a tourist in your own city? And with the goal of being hyper present, do something different than you typically normally do, or if you're gonna do something similar, bring a hyper awareness, a hyper focus to that moment. Bring a little journal, bring a notebook, use your phone if you have nothing, and just journal, what comes to you in that moment. And then have stillness. The last thing I would say on this is, true meditation is not emptying the mind of nothing. It's actually an awareness of your thoughts and grabbing hold of the ones that interest you, analyzing it, looking at it, letting it pass, and then repeating that process. A lot of us want to hear something from God. We want to hear something. We have a question on our lives. We have a question on our minds. And we don't actually have enough time spent in the listening phase. So this awareness, this awareness moment, say you're at a coffee shop and you're sitting there and you're doing your quiet time, after you're done reading, after you're done enjoying your coffee, after you're done thinking intently on the rest of your day, bring your focus to the awareness. Even after you're done journaling, whatever comes to your mind, just sit there and allow yourself to have some space to receive. When I heard a pastor say, we want to hear from the voice of God, but we don't listen. We don't have time to listen. We're talking all day long to him. We're reading all day long. We're watching things. We're consuming and filling our time, but we actually don't allow time to listen. You know, you've heard we have one mouth and two ears. We're supposed to listen twice as much as we talk. So I definitely had some deep insights from God, from my quiet times, from my morning at the coffee shop in Tokyo, in the countryside, in nature. So I want you, again, my encouragement, bring that awareness, but allow time for you to receive. Allow time for God to say something to you, put something in your mind, put something in your heart, and then journal that out. And that's what I've been doing. I've been journaling a little bit, getting that flowing, getting the unconscious to come to the conscious, pausing, allowing for a couple moments, couple minutes of just stillness, listening, get some bugs coming out, mosquitoes, and then finishing my journal and writing whatever comes to me. And not every time is something profound, it's not some amazing revelation, but they're little things that, you might need just for that day, for that moment, for the next moment. But we only get that from the stillness and by asking and listening. So encouragement for you, encouragement for your weekend, encouragement for your mornings. If you get a chance to travel, take it, whether it's a missions trip, whether it's family and friends bringing you along, whether you saved up some money and you're able to actually take a trip, take that trip. Go somewhere that you've never been before. It doesn't have to be out of the country. It doesn't have to be Japan, hours away, 20 hours away. It could be somewhere in your own city that you've never been before, or outside your city, somewhere in your own state. But I want to encourage you, bring some awareness in your life and allow time to listen. Until the next conversation, have a great day. Ruby. The Japan fit. Probably can't see my face, but got some baggy pleated denim made in Japan. Got a blue shirt made in Japan from some local independent designer. Cute white dog, fluffy, cute baby, not included, Piper. Oh, you got some stuff on, yes. Oh, we got stinky kisses.